but you could see everyone going to the different stations, and it's like, oh, look at that. That's Stephen A. Smith. And there's been a couple of looks over here like, who are these cats from Canada? We might have to get Doogie to get fake arrested tonight or something to get some notoriety in here and to get cooking, and everyone's going to say, those are the guys from Canada. Their producer got arrested, something like that.
I like that idea.
We got to make a name for ourselves in
That's
here.
the guy who got kicked out of customs line.
Yes.
What he was doing there.
Well, Doogie might be on a list.
It was a tough start.
He might be on a list right now.
A watch list?
Yeah, like Dear Hazy B out of the gate. We've been here for 5 minutes. Doogie's pants split wide open at the airport, like on the way here. Very uncomfortable. Like, I'm talking a full split.
Yeah, he bent over to grab his luggage. It split down the middle, and he farted really loud. And everyone was staring at Doogie at the customs section.
Yeah, so we're getting big press back home for that.
Yes, they know who Doogie is at the airport.
Right,
Trending
at
on
Pearson,
Twitter.
it's huge news.
Yeah. My brother was on duty and reported that to me. As a cop, he was on duty, and he knew about it.
We saw Ryan on duty. He said, we've heard stories about
Where's
some
the
guy
Doogie character?
who's making people very
He's
uncomfortable
in a
here.
room. They brought him in for interrogation.
Yeah, we don't need press back home.
Yeah, here we need press.
We
here
got to
in San
make it. We
Francisco.
got to get buzzing in here because this is awesome. Like anybody as a fan of football, and if you watch sports, you got to try to find a way to get in here for this experience. And the one question I have for you, Hayes, is why doesn't the National Hockey League do something like this? Like, couldn't you find a couple days in the finals, or is it just because it's a series you can't get this set up?
Yeah.
Well,
I think it would be awesome
this
for
is
like
a full
hockey
week.
diehards, man.
Yeah, what you need is the neutral site, right? That's what this conversation leads to, I think, every single year. And you see it. Listen, the Super Bowl, you can't just replicate.
No.
If you're the NHL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, you don't have a shot.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl and the NFL is a different beast.
Are you
right?
talking neutral site for a whole series?
Well, yes, in order to set up all the infrastructure, getting everyone prepared here, having everything planned, to have everyone on site, that's what would have to happen. You'd have to have a neutral site.
It's like an all-star weekend type
Exactly.
of thing.
I think it's a cool idea, man.
Wow.
I don't know.
This setup
It'd be very different. I mean,
elite. Like, you think of some of the places we've been to, even the golf and all of the other tournaments we've been to. I look at this setup is unbelievable.
Yeah.
We've been to other places where, Radio Row, there's like a golf cart set up and glass enclosure.
That's what I love about this. If you come here, and it's no disrespect to anybody that has a worse set than us,
We have
you
a
just
great
get a
set.
desk and it's like you're there. It's not the same vibe. Like we are
and to be
set
clear,
up shop.
we've been that guy
We've been in the golf cart over
many
that.
times.
But
Every other time we've been on location.
Basically every other time, they're like, we'll find a place for you guys. Storage room B, I think.
Yeah.
Now we can carve people
But
throughout
I'm looking
the day.
out here like I feel like we're in a palace.
It's dialed.
Looking upon.
It's dialed in. No, it's a beautiful set. Thanks to FanDuel for setting us up.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're here courtesy of FanDuel, TSN. And, it is an interesting question, though. Like, how can you build on this energy with other sports? I think, again, you got to be realistic. The Super Bowl and the NFL are a different beast.
Yeah, it's a-
And even the Super Bowl here, we're downtown San Francisco. The stadium's an hour south of here.
Yeah.
There's other events going on in between. There's stuff in Santa Clara. There's stuff in San Jose. Like, it is spread out.
Yeah.
Right? You wouldn't know it based on how condensed this room is and how much energy there is here.
Sorry, did you say the stadium's an hour away?
Yeah, it's an hour south of here.
It's taken over the whole area.
Yes.
I landed today. You guys landed yesterday. The place is buzzing.
It's amazing.
Traffic everywhere, but they've got it organized. Street shut down, police waving you through. Like,
They know exactly
my
what
driver deserved a medal to get here. I'll tell you what.
Well,
this
you
guy,
flew in this morning.
I was in Raleigh last night, so that was a 3:30 a.m. wake up, which was tough. I slept for 2 hours last night because I watched the Leaf game and
Yes.
then
How
turned
about the
around
Leafs?
pretty quick.
How about the Leafs
Leafs are
finding-
messing with you.
yeah,
I'm
they
telling
I knew
you.
it was going to come. I said, lock of the century, they'd win 3 straight going into the break.
Yeah,
I
they're
knew
messing
they were
with
going to
you.
win.
They're messing with Leaf Nation, the
Yes.
psyche.
And last night in particular, right? You beat Vancouver, you beat Calgary. That's expected.
Kind of gimmies, yeah.
My
Vancouver's-
bingo card had them getting smoked last night.
I'll tell you what, and Leaf fans are noticing it, and this is not an excuse.
I know what's coming. I know what's coming.
They're a point behind Edmonton and Vegas in the standings. What division you're in this year factors into the way
100%.
things are going to play out. Now, that's just the reality, and that's the way it goes.
You're right,
thought you were
because
going-
Edmonton's talking about McDavid getting his cup, and the other guy, Matthews, they're talking about blowing up his team.
Right. They're a point behind Edmonton.
I thought you were going to say they had the road trip without 44 on the back end,
Well,
because that's what was.
Okay, so
I thought you were
let me
going
get
there.
that out of the way.
Okay.
The standing stuff, which again, you
Yeah.
can't control. If you're a fan, you can complain all you want. The fact of the matter is, Toronto's not in the Pacific time zone, so
Right.
they're not in the Pacific division. But Edmonton's a point up on them. Vegas is a point up. Vegas is a point up on the Leafs with less regulation wins.
They've been getting smoked.
And they've been getting smoked ever since they acquired Anderson. The only win is against Toronto.
Yeah.
But you look at it, the few things that stood out to me last night, the Morgan Rielly conversation is a legitimate one. Like, I thought Carlo had a great game last night. Throws that hit on McDavid, was ready for the fight, too.
Yeah.
Like, Nurse is a tough customer. He threw his gloves off and said, where are we meeting?
Yeah.
And I thought he did pretty well in that fight.
Wow.
Like, he can fight, right? Like, Nurse is a...
Just haven't seen a lot of it from
I
Brandon
thought it was
Carlo,
fair.
though.
Like on the other side, Trent Frederick skated right by him.
Right by him.
I was like, what? Like 10 skates right here. There's their. Oh, I'm going to go look for the puck.
Yeah, right
I'm
by
like,
him.
that's the guy they brought in. Now, Nurse is a good leader there and stood up. And you're right, it was a great fight. And Carlo, the one thing that teams have done is you have to respect McDavid because he'll make you pay. But there are teams that go right after 97. And to me, Carlo took an opportunity. He
As
hit him.
he should.
And didn't hurt him. You're not trying to hurt him, but you're trying to hit him and slow him down. And you know what? He didn't have a lot of space last night. I thought they did a good job in layers checking him.
Listen, not a lot of teams in the league have gone through a game where neither McDavid or Draisaitl get on the
Now,
game.
the goalie helps a little bit.
Well, that was my next point is, again, Morgan Rielly being out. I thought Carlo with McCabe, that's all of a sudden a pairing that looked a lot more comfortable. It's only a couple of games. But Rielly being out, they win without him. Like, is it a coincidence? Maybe. Is there something to it? Like, you look at the amount of games he's missed throughout his career, their winning percentage is through the roof. It's just
I'd
something
still rather personally have
I
him in.
understand it sucks for him, and I get the position he's in. We all love Morgan Rielly, but that is brewing. Like, his stance within the organization, what could happen in the future, and him being out and them winning isn't going to help that conversation.
Well, it's the situation he's in. I'm sure he would have never predicted this. But when he gets healthy to come back, whatever's happening with the D-core, you're going to have to ask the question, where do you fit right now? And what is going to be the most helpful for you to have success out there? Because if there's pairings that are working, you can't break them up now. Which he would usually be a guy saying, I'm coming back, you get off that D pairing, I'm going there. I don't know if you can do that anymore.
I could find a spot in the stands for Philip Meyer. I'm sorry.
I hear
that's
you.
my point.
I get it.
I'm not saying he's not going into the lineup.
Right. Like, and
Clearly,
he's going to be
playing.
healthy. Like, you hope. Like,
Well, it's
they're
3
done
weeks.
now for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So now they're going to watch for the next 2 days, some standings go on or whatever. And if they get a little help, they're 5 points back. If they don't, they're 7. But at the end of the day, what are they going to do?
Well, I don't think it should change anything, but ultimately what we think doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
It matters
we're
what Brad
just
Treliving and the Maple
spitballing.
Leafs decide to do. But credit to them. They won games. They needed that. They had
Yeah.
lost a lot of games prior to these 3 games. Stolarz, you mentioned, was great last night. Like, he was really, really good. And that is a story with 25 games to go. You take 3 weeks off. You get Stolarz healthy and Wall healthy. If they get great goaltending,
Gives you a chance.
well, yes, it gives you a chance. It moves the Jerry's percentage, mini Jerry, and them making the playoffs to like 35%. It's
What
still
is the-
such an uphill
Yeah,
battle.
but what if they've already made a decision on these guys? Is that possible where they already said we're punting on the season?
Well,
Who knows?
I think so.
I think you.
I think
you'd
like
have
you
to.
trade McMahon, you trade maybe Lawton, you trade one of the defensemen,
But
but you still get great goaltending, you're going to be in game.
and you still have top players.
Yes.
See, this is the thing that I don't disagree with people, but it's like you have to have a plan moving forward. There's no guarantee if you trade player X, let's say McMahon, I'm just spitballing. The player you either get back or the cap relief or whatever, the team's not just going to go down the toilet. You still have Nylander if he's healthy, Matthews, you still got players like talent, and to me, it's if you get the goaltending, you can be right there. There's no guarantee. I don't know what the percentage is. I saw Mike Kelly just killing
not
Leaf
high.
fans yesterday.
Well, it's
and
not high.
no,
a
it's
huge
whatever it is.
mountain that
Let's
they've
say it's
gotta
15 or
climb.
20%. But if you inch forward, Mary Swanson, you got a chance to do it.
You got a chance. And I would say the third thing that stood out to me is the guy you just mentioned. William Nylander is a game changer when he's playing.
Yeah.
When he's healthy and dancing, he's a one-man show. Like, he can create offense on his own, unlike anyone else on the team, Matthews included. Like, Matthews, I think, needs to feed off other guys.
Yeah, Willie's
Nylander.
unique.
I just got to say one thing, and it's kind of bugged me, the timing of him coming back. It was like, I don't know, it just seemed like the organization gave this guy $100 million, and the season was hanging in the balance, and it was almost like, where was your head at? Did you want to prep for the Olympics? Like, you got 3 weeks coming up where you could have told Sweden, no thanks, I gotta play for the Leafs, and then I gotta rest. But it was like, I don't know, it kind of bugs me, just the timing of it a little bit.
Be honest though, I'm glad he's back in the sense that he didn't get hurt.
Well, he looks
if he
great.
came back,
But he was hurt. He missed 7 games or whatever.
If
He
he
missed
comes
the
back
most
and he's
critical
limping
time
around,
of the season.
but he's got to go to the Olympics, then you're going, okay, where's his head at? Olympics or your team? He came back and played very well. So that said to me he's healthy. So go to the Olympics, play well, play hard, and come back more, rejuvenated. And I don't know, you guys may have talked about the McDavid letter or whatever. Like,
I thought, we haven't because we were off yesterday. I thought that was brilliant.
I loved it.
And what I like about it, so McDavid, wrote something in the Players Tribune, because I don't believe any of these guys actually.
He may have spoken.
Yes,
and they wrote it.
he
yeah.
may-
They
I'm
got a
sure-
ghostwriter.
Yes, of course, which is totally fine.
Yes.
It's totally fine. But what stood out to me about that is that I have such great appreciation for this, he admitted, like, he thinks about his legacy.
Yeah.
And he cares about his legacy.
Sure.
Which you should, and that should go without saying, but there are times when we get in these debates and arguments, how important is it to win?
Statues.
What about this? Statues and all that. And it's like, wow, the players are just going about their business. No, they're not. Like, he is dialed in.
He's in tune, though.
Yes.
That's what it is.
He absolutely is. Now, I thought it was somewhat funny last night. It looked like, kind of, get me to the Olympics, I want to get out of here clean at times. From him, Matthews.
Now, and they play Calgary tonight, Edmonton does.
They just want to get out.
Yeah.
Because you do not want an injury at this point.
I know, but they want to win, too. They've been playing like crap as well.
I hear you.
But,
And they also, all of a sudden, have who's stopping pucks for them? They need a save tonight as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Jari's got to play better. I like that Ingram. I liked him. He made some good saves last night. I couldn't lay that loss at his feet.
Right.
I thought the Leafs did. The power play was the difference there. 2 great plays in the power play. Game over right there.
Big part of it.
But you know what? When you look at it, coming back to the McDavid thing, what do we talk about all the time? Like, what fans are dying for? This guy said, I want to win at Edmonton. All I think about, is winning. Edmonton, I don't care. Like, he basically was saying, I think, what a lot of fan bases are dying for from their star players.
Yes, exactly. I want to be a winner here. And I'm obsessed with winning right here.
Right. And
it landed so well. And it lands well, I think, as a Canadian, because now you get to root for him.
Right.
Not that you're ever rooting against him, but now he's playing for your team if you're Canadian.
Yeah.
Right? He's got to get through tonight, and then you get to the Olympic Games, and obviously the next 3 weeks are a massive legacy platform for all of these guys.
I'm a little, like, this is just maybe me. I'm nervous for Canada. I really am.
I feel very good, I got to be honest. The goaltending scares me. The goaltending...
Just like it did going into Four Nations.
Yes, it does. But I look at McDavid, McKinnon, Sid, Celebrini, like, those cats are going to go over there and I think put on a clinic.
You're right. And that Team USA is going, we're going in as underdogs.
Yes.
We don't...
Go ahead.
To me, and I think there's going to be a surprise team in there, whether it's Sweden or,
Well, they generally play well, especially in Europe.
Yeah,
the Finns will show up in battle.
Oh, you're going to get the best from some of those Euro players.
Oh, yeah. You can bank on that.
But you look at it, I felt bad for Rielly. I was watching that game live the other night.
And Sam Bennett goes in. That's kind of a makeup call for missing him the first time.
Yeah.
Right?
But you look at it.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm excited for it. But, it's, to me, when you come back to it, the storylines after the Olympics is going to be outstanding.
It's going to be a race, man.
Now, I am worried about the Leafs' schedule.
Yes.
That's the one thing.
And that's been a constant, for months now.
Yeah.
And when they've dug themselves such a hole.
There's no margin for error.
There's no margin for error.
Yeah.
They need the best goaltending you can get. They need health, and they need a rock star run. 25 games, you need like 17, 18 wins.
Now, are you
minimum.
worried, though, that they just were feeling good about themselves? Now you got to start over, or is it better to get healthy
I think it's
and then
better
go
to
at
shut
it?
everybody down.
And then
Nyes get to 100%. Tavares get a break. The goalies get a break.
Yeah.
And, you know, you hope Matthews and Ekman-Larsson and Nylander come back healthy and motivated. So, you know, the Leafs hit the break, and we'll talk about them, you know, a bit over the next few days. And as you can see up on the screen, to make the playoffs, they're plus 320. To miss minus 390. Those are pretty significant odds both ways.
Well, right now, then, if you're crunching numbers, that's the reality.
The safe bet is that they miss the playoffs.
But at the end of the day, they've given you a little flicker of going, okay, if you can get something going here. Problem is they've been good, then bad.
Yes.
Then good, then bad. Like,
and it's on the GM, too, and he's got enough sample size to know what they are.
Yeah.
Who they are, what they can do, what you should do. So, you know, the trade freeze will go in. I don't think they're going to make a move prior to that. And we'll see what...
Today, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's that,
Archie Panarin.
Panarin traded to L.A. for like a prospect and a couple of picks, and then he gets a 2-year extension at $11 million.
That's Kopitar's money. $11 million.
Kopitar's retiring.
He hates
Panarin
the deal, which is, you know, it's fair. 11.
I just don't know. Acquiring the guy is one thing, but also extending him. He is not the same player he was. He's not the bread man anymore. To give him another 2 years at $11 million, no thanks. It's not for me.
Well,
I think it's crazy they did that.
I think the fact it's only 2 years would suggest that LA knows that.
Yeah.
He didn't get a 5-6 year off into the sunset deal. It's like, we'll take you, give you a couple years. We have money coming off the books.
Yeah.
They need some star power there. They need help up the middle of the ice, though, and that's not going to help. Like, Panarin's going to play the wing.
And the one thing I was saying to off air is LA's a team that got older and a little bit slower in the offseason. He doesn't bring the pace up.
No.
He's got skill, though. And he's
got skill.
He's
he
a
can
one
still
shot.
do some things on the power play, but
he's a like a one-shot scorer for me. Like, he doesn't need 5 or 6 shots and volume. What he needs is, hey, give me one opportunity, I can put it in the net or make that play. And they might be looking for a game breaker there. We just talked about it. The West, outside of 2 or 3 teams, seem wide open. You know, LA may be thinking, okay, well, we're right on the cusp there, and maybe this guy helps put us over.
That's what they're hoping for.
They didn't give up
I don't
a
know.
lot.
The West, it feels like it's kind of set in stone. It's Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota. Well, Vegas and Edmonton, though, are not in a good place.
No.
And that's what those teams in the Pacific are looking at. Like, why are we afraid of those teams? You know, they have more history, clearly, but they're not in good places.
I think Edmonton's a team that's going to be active at the deadline. Because you see what they've been doing is infusing some young players in that, Savoy and, you know, like guys like that who are, you know, Howard's been up and down. But I think what they're going to do is add, you know, you add at the deadline and see what you've got and give experience to guys. They're kind of, for me, I think they're like in the Florida mode from last year.
Yeah.
Let's make
well,
the playoffs,
Florida, obviously, we know what happened once they got
But
there.
Florida's in
Florida's
one
in
right
big
now.
trouble. I think they're finished. The way they've been talking the last few days would suggest that they're in big, big trouble. All right, so we're live from Radio Row. We're going to have a big show today. We got Doug Flutie coming in. We got Donovan McNabb. We got Jeff Garcia, James Duthie. So 4 quarterbacks are coming by.
One flag football.
One flag football, but nevertheless, a legend.
Doug Flutie has his own cereal.
Yes, he does. Flutie Flakes.
Do we bring that up, or is that awkward?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We got a lot of time. We'll get into a number of things with Flutie. So that's coming up. The trade deadline is right around the corner from the NBA, and the Raptors have just acquired Chris Paul. So Chris Paul for Abaji is going the other way. It's effectively a money game. It's to get the Raptors under the luxury tax. Paul is not going to be stepping foot in Toronto.
Are you sure? What's your Jerry's that
My read, based on what I'm picking up from Shams Charania and others, like Chris Paul's not even getting a phone call.
Who else didn't step foot in Toronto?
Alonzo Mourning famously did it. That was in the Vince Carter deal. So that
never even made it to Toronto.
There were reports they were calling him, and he was not even. They couldn't locate the guy.
Flushing.
Like the 2 Williams came up,
yeah.
And then they got picks, and then they got Alonzo Mourning, and Mourning said, "I'm not coming up." Like didn't answer for days, and then eventually they established some sort of contact with him.
So this isn't like, so it's kind of a salary dump, or what, like you're saying?
Yeah, it's about, there's, you know, like different thresholds of taxes and all that. Like Chris Paul was sent home by the Clippers, and he hasn't
played. That's why I'm
played.
wondering, like this guy doesn't play anymore.
What do you think Chris Paul looks like right now?
Me.
I think there's a chance he does look like you. Like, he's 40, and he hasn't stepped foot.
I want him to play. I want him to show up.
I kind of want to see Chris Paul show up.
It would be awesome if he showed up.
Wouldn't it be amazing if he sent a tweet out and said, I don't know what these reports are all about. Yeah. I'm packing my bags. I'm en route.
That'd be so embarrassing if you called the organization and said, where do you want me to fly to? And they just said, nowhere. Nowhere.
It would probably be the savvy play. Because I don't think you need Chris Paul. Like, Chris Paul's, the Clippers and the whole scene there, like how he got sent home. Yeah. And they traded James Harden to Cleveland yesterday. So that Harden's back out again, and he's in Cleveland now.
I watched last night. I bookmarked it. It was a reporter that went crazy.
Yes.
On
so
Harden.
that was when he originally got to L.A.
And he said,
I'm warning you, this guy's a problem. You'll never win with him. He'll demand out. He won't take any account for anything.
It was a mic drop moment.
It was a remarkable rant.
It was one of the greatest rants I've ever seen.
Of all time. And he was 100% correct, because Harden has done nothing in L.A. And now I don't know why Cleveland's bringing him on. Like, I know he's got uber talent and all that,
dude,
but
he just ruins team. Like, he's just no way, man.
It's not going to work with James Harden in Cleveland. But there was an all-time great tweet on this today. Someone tweeted out the scene from Good Will Hunting. Remember when he picks up the paper and he's like, do you know how easy this is for me?
Yeah.
Do you know how easy? And he said, this is James Harden showing Giannis how to demand a trade. Because Giannis is like trying to work his way through it.
Yeah.
Harden's like, do you know how easy it is? Like, when I want out, I'm out in like 48 hours.
That is so funny.
Fat suits.
So true,
showing up out of shape. You know, there's so many different things Harden has done to get out, and teams are like, forget it, just get rid of this guy.
Yeah, just go.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
We'll find a way to make that work for you.
That is
like, he is an all-time great at demanding trades. Yeah. The greatest of all time.
There's got to be a timeline and what happened in that. There's got to be a 30 for 30.
Oh, I think so. Like Oklahoma City to Houston, Houston to Brooklyn, Brooklyn to LA, LA to Cleveland. And
but I want to see everything. Like, I want to see the demands this guy had about Vegas and needing to go to Vegas and own timelines, don't practice I want a 30 for 30
That's what
on
I mean.
that.
Like,
me too, man.
If they had
full scene,
they could do the
scene in the
forensic.
peeler. Like, this guy loves going to peeler joints.
Yeah. But he openly admits it, too.
Yes.
Like, hey,
he is 100% on the level about all this stuff.
He have a ranking, too? And I think Toronto was in there.
Well, someone tried to get the analytics down on how good or bad the peeler scene is in each individual city based on how he plays in that market. So in other words, if he
stinks the joint out, it means there's a better peeler joint?
Yes. If he's brutal, it's a great scene.
3 points and 1 assist.
Yes. Like
in
this
Toronto.
Guy, in other words, this guy goes to Utah and he's Wilt Chamberlain. 100 points, 100 rebounds, because he's like, I got nothing to do here.
Nothing to do, yeah.
But he goes to Atlanta or Miami, he's basically
barely
JP.
makes it. Yeah.
He's trying to figure out what he's doing on the court. So anyway, the trades are starting to pour in on the NBA side of things. We'll see what happens in the NHL side of things. We're live, Radio Row, San Francisco. It's just an incredible scene down here.
Unbelievable.
We're getting closer to the game. Like, the game, there is energy for the game. It's amazing how there's all these distractions, right? There's all these different things going on. The Pro Bowl yesterday, the awards, the Hall of Fames. How about your boy Bobby Kraft not getting into the Hall of Fame, too?
Crazy
Something's going on there.
Well, they've iced him out. They've obviously iced out Belichick.
And now Bobby Kraft.
Obviously iced out Robert Kraft. Do you think they'll ice out Brady for a year? Do you think they have what it takes to tell Tom Brady, you got to sit for a year?
No way.
Absolutely not.
I think it must have been like the New England curse. You are getting it. That's the way but
absolutely not, unless there's info that nobody's privy to except people voting. Like, there's a big Tom Brady scandal that only certain people know. I can't see it, man.
Well, Deflategate is the only, like, he's not responsible for Spygate.
Right.
That's not his problem.
But people say he was responsible for Deflategate.
Yes, it's his. Like, the footballs he knew what he was doing.
Right.
Like, now a bunch of quarterbacks came out in defense of him and said everybody does that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the PSI in every football. Like, quarterbacks know exactly what they're dealing with, right?
Crazy.
It's like a golfer with his club. Like, he knows exactly what dimensions he has and wants.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the next question. What happens with Tom Brady? And I had seen today that Brady had reported that, or not reported, but suggested he doesn't have a dog in the fight in this game because now he's a media guy and he's an owner of the Raiders. So you're not rooting for the New England Patriots?
Do you think secretly he doesn't want them to win because his legacy is there? Or does he want them to win because
that's a good question.
He has
like, he can't be nervous about Drake Maye. He's not nervous about anybody. Maybe Mahomes catching you, not Drake Maye. But the idea that he wouldn't be rooting for New England is somewhat surprising.
Well, but he didn't leave did he leave on great terms?
Yeah, decent terms. He went to Tampa, left as a free
one in Tampa, but I mean,
everything's all good. They got the statue for him.
But it's not like an ex-girlfriend type of thing. You're looking at that going, happy for them, but you don't,
Belichick was toxic. I don't think Brady wasn't. All right, we're live at Radio Row, San Francisco, moving towards Super Bowl Sunday here at the FanDuel set. Tons of energy in here. Doug Flutie will join us today. Donovan McNabb coming up. We got Duthie coming up. We have a full breakdown of everything going on in San Fran. We're dialed in and ready to rock. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on TSN 4.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your games your way. We're live from Radio Row, Super Bowl, San Francisco, and look who we have here, Doug Flutie in the house. How you doing, Doug?
Doing great, hanging out, Super Bowl week. Gonna be fun. Patriots are in it,
yes.
In town, all that fun stuff, a bunch of old buddies around, so it's like a class reunion.
It's amazing, great to see you, and I don't know if you're being asked about your CFL career anywhere else, but you're on Canadian TV right now. I guess we'll ask you to compare Super Bowl week to Grey Cup week. How would you compare the two?
Just take Grey Cup and magnify it, but it's the same energy. It's just the numbers of people and all that are different. And I said this, I was on a couple podcasts this week. We were talking CFL stuff. That's a clip from the Grey Cup up in Edmonton against Saskatchewan. That you can't tell me it could be any more exciting, any better, anything. We talk about championship games, we talk about the nerves involved and all that, and it's such a fun part of my career, and I loved every minute of it.
What's the week like for a player leading up? Because we were at the Grey Cup this year in Winnipeg, and it seemed like we saw the players in the hotel, and it was just like so much angst. Like they were just sitting around and waiting for that Sunday game. Like all you got to do, you can get into trouble, you can do whatever you want, but this just seems like so much sit around and wait time.
Like with Super Bowl, they got 2 weeks to prepare. Grey Cup, did they take the week off?
No, they don't.
They don't,
You're
right?
right into it,
So you're right into it. So you're still preparing for the game and trying to do some of the activities and be around. But the CFL workday is usually a 4.5-hour workday. So there is that downtime and they're around, but do they want to go out and mingle with fans and get out in the middle of everything? Right. Or they try to be quiet on the side? The difference here in the NFL is you got the week for preparation. Then you come to Super Bowl week and you've already got the prep done. And now it's just rehashing stuff in the you do have that free time. CFL-wise, we were still watching game film, still preparing, still getting ready, going 100 miles an hour. And for me, I'd like to be in my happy little bubble and just kind of hide.
Absolutely. Doug Flutie with us. And you might be one of one in terms of connecting with the three levels of North American football. In college football, obviously, you had so many famous plays, including maybe the most famous play of all. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about, the Hail Mary. Then you go to the Canadian Football League. You're maybe the greatest player in league history, real close to it. And then in the NFL, you are so beloved, especially in Buffalo with your connection to that crowd. Like, how do you respond to that? Because I don't think anyone has all three levels the way that you do.
I've never really thought of it that way. It was people talk about their journey. I always hated that phrase. But that's kind of
what you do.
Yeah. It was just what's up next, what's the next year bringing, and all that. The college, I thought for sure that winning the Heisman and what we did at Boston College would be the pinnacle of my career. It was. I wasn't sure if I'd have a good professional career or not, or have an opportunity. Things worked out both in the NFL. The CFL career is what put the fun back in football for me, enabled me to get back to the NFL, and then become a Pro Bowl quarterback in the NFL.
How did the fun get back into it?
I think in the CFL, it was just more wide open, and turning it loose. I had coaches that believed in me. The nature of the game and the size of the field lent itself to my abilities. So I was just having fun playing football. And all of a sudden, the coaches were putting more and more back in my hands. I was with John Huffnagel in Calgary. Huff was a great offensive coordinator, put everything together. He'd get me going through the game, and then at some point, he'd just say, take it and go, and I'd start calling my own plays. Toronto, with Don, I started calling my own plays right away. So it was like, it just put the fun in it for me. Winning solves a lot of issues, so that's part of it.
Well, you see the size of the quarterbacks now, and the quarterbacks are a lot more protected than when you play. What do you make of the evolution of that position?
Well, they watch the CFL. I mean, all the stuff they're doing is stuff we did 25, 30 years ago. We'd spread it out, use the quarterback as a runner. The RPO game, I always say Damon Allen and I both, I saw Damon pull the ball, eye in the backside end and running. So I started doing it. Then a guy would come off to get me, so I'd throw it to the slot receiver. And we kind of started the RPO stuff. And same with the spread offenses and using the quarterback as a runner or the 5 receiver, 6 receivers empty set pass game. So the small guy can do that. They're in gun now, so it creates better separation from the line of scrimmage, and you can see the whole darn field. Where I was under center a lot, the majority of the time when I was in the NFL.
Talked about having more fun in the game. Sam Darnold seems like he's having a hell of a lot more fun than when he started. Could you envision, when you saw him with the Jets to where he is right now? Just the improvements, the way he looks, the way he throws the football. Basically, the whole package is completely different. Could you have foreseen that?
I saw him in college, and I saw what he could do, his abilities. I say this, everyone goes to the Jets to die. All quarterbacks go to the Jets to die. It just happened. So no, I couldn't have envisioned it after that. But I have a soft spot in my heart for the guys that have to bust their tail to keep getting the opportunity to make it happen. The amazing thing is, he won 14 games last year with Minnesota.
They let him go.
And they let him go.
Crazy.
Right? And then they're still searching for an answer. So
don't say crazy, because you said you would have done the same thing 2 months ago.
That's erroneous. I don't run the team.
You did. You were like, at the end of the season, you didn't play well, whatever.
He wasn't great at the end of the year, to be clear.
Sam has always shown the ability to be great, but he's mixed in with all the interceptions and turnovers, and it's something I did. I never gave up on a play. And he had to learn how to give up on some plays, throw the ball away, take the occasional sack, and not turn the ball over. And that's where he ran into trouble, was always trying to make a play. So a big part of that is being 100% sure what you're seeing in front of you, ball's out in rhythm and in timing. And the other is maturing enough to know when to give up on a play.
Doug Flutie with us. We're live in San Francisco here on the FanDuel set. What about the other quarterback playing on Sunday, Drake Maye? He's so young, so good, so efficient. He's got a great coach in Vrabel. Does he have the it factor for you? And if so, what does that mean?
The it factor part with me and him is in seeing in him is his athleticism, knowing when to take off and run the ball, feeling those opportunities, throwing on the move. He throws the ball exceptionally well. He's a lot more mobile than I ever realized he was when he was coming in. And just throughout the year, the team in general throughout the year got better and better and better, and his confidence grew. The playoff run, maybe a little shaky, but that's because he played great defenses, and he still managed to win games. So I think he's going to have to be more the Drake Maye we saw in the middle of the year, slinging it, in order to outscore Seattle.
So where's your gut instinct on the game here? Who are you leaning? Who do you like?
The scary part of this is Seattle, to me, is the better team. It feels to me, I think it was 2004, where Brady had the tuck rule, the snow game, an ugly win in the snow. Then you're going up against the Rams, who should have blown or supposed to blow you out. Greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
It has that feel.
Yes.
So if the Patriots can just make Seattle work for everything they get, keep it close, grind this thing, and get towards the fourth quarter, I think the Patriots can win it.
I'm starting to get there too, and the amazing thing is there's so many football fans out there that are not prepared for New England to do this again. It just was 20 years.
They wanted to see New England suffer for 10 years.
Yes.
How long? When was the last one?
In 19, I believe
19.
it was. Yeah. So
7 years.
I know. But if you're a Bills fan, Doug, it's been a lot longer than that. Where do you stand on Josh Allen? Like, are you a believer he's going to get a Super Bowl?
League
It's just
MVP,
inevitable?
best quarterback. He's the first guy I'd take out of anybody.
Yeah.
And he put them in a position to get to the Super Bowl again, and they fell short. Fell short in an ugly way. Officials, flags, catch, no catch, all that stuff. Just heartbroken for Buffalo.
Yeah, let's hope he gets there. We were hoping he'd be here this year, maybe next year in LA with Doug Flutie. So you're working with Light Helmets.
Light Helmets.
What's going on with that?
It's a company that is player-owned, players in it to protect the sports and the people that play them, and that's the bottom line. The helmets are a lighter helmet, helps obviously with fatigue, mobility, everything else if the helmet can be lighter. Also, the liners are specific to positions. And each helmet is specific to their, whether it's quarterback, O-line, D-line. And the guys that have worn them in the NCAA, as far as we know, the NCAA and NFL this year, none of them have had a concussion. So it's been very promising. This company started 2018 and is considered the best of the newest helmets.
That's awesome.
The newer helmets.
Awesome stuff. Well, Doug, we can't thank you enough for coming by.
Yeah.
It's great to see a CFL legend. I don't know if anyone else is going to tell you that here, but we always we'll never forget.
Yeah, we'll never forget.
I loved every minute of it.
Absolutely. Great seeing you.
Good to see you guys.
There he is, Doug Flutie, joining us here. Radio Row, FanDuel Studios. OverDrive continues. We got Donovan McNabb coming up. We got Jeff Garcia, another guy who played for the Stamps.
Yeah.
Guy who played for the Stamps up in the Canadian Football League. Duthie will join us here as well. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
January finale, and we're celebrating with the flip of destiny. Will it be heads? Will it be tails? Make sure to call it before the Super Bowl. And, of course, we're here for Super Bowl 60. And before that kicks off, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and pick a side today. We're going to come up with our picks later this week.
Yes.
Right? I was studying on the plane. Do I go heads? Do I go tails? I'll make my big reveal in a couple of days.
We're not revealing right now?
We're not revealing right now. No, but we're
already put in my vote.
Check it out. Right? Get to the FanDuel Sportsbook app for that. And, again, we'll do that later this week. And I think Al's brother will be a part of the show on Friday. And Luke's going to come by the next couple of days.
Is there a chance we can get this set moved back? Like, are you? He's not comfortable.
I don't know what to do here.
No, you look good. You look great. I just have to say, you took so much pleasure. You just spoke to someone in commercial break, and you said, "Where are you set up?" And he said, "Somewhere in the mush over here." And you gave it a head nod. And you was the happiest I've ever seen you in my life.
I wasn't saying that to be arrogant at all.
You loved it. You were like, "Where are you set up?"
He's a guy I used to work with, and I know he's doing, I guess he's down here doing broadcasts, and he's doing stuff. So I didn't know if he was just walking around or if he's dialed in.
But he's like a porta potty in the back.
Man, you loved asking
that was not what I was
your
intending.
high horse.
That was not the point I was trying to make. I was not trying to be a big wheel at all.
No.
I was not. I know better than that.
Sat back with his
I've been on the flip side of that so many times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, we're coming up here. Sorry, move along. You know, isn't it awkward?
President's Cup, where are you set up? We're facing the wall over there in the corner if you ever want to find us.
Actually, we're not in Montreal. We're in Laval.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at a different golf course, but we're looking forward to it. Yeah, I guess it came off as a big wheel move, but that was not the intention.
He was very happy. I did notice that.
Yeah, I was just checking in. It was good to see him. It's been a long time since I've seen him.
I just felt for the guy. We're up here. We're so dialed in on the set.
Yeah.
Where are you set up? And he was like, "Oh, kind of behind that thing over there."
You see that giant set over there? Nowhere near there.
Yeah.
Way over here.
That was not the intention.
Yeah.
That wasn't what I was trying to get to. All right, Donovan McNabb. Doogie's trying to tackle him somewhere. The best thing is Doogie is on the scene, right? It was great to see
He
Doug
looks
Flutie.
great today. He's got a Johnny Cash suit on. He's
looks
so
phenomenal.
dialed in. He looks amazing.
Does he have like duct tape on his pants? What's he doing?
I don't know.
Those
He's
are
trying
new
to break out a
pants.
new style. He's breaking out a new style. But we're going to get Donovan McNabb in here. We got Duthie coming up. We got Jeff Garcia coming up. But it's interesting that it does seem to me, now Flutie has a Patriots affiliation.
Right.
I get the sense it's swinging to the Patriots, and I don't know. If
I
that's
just
because
I think that's fascinating, Brian. Like, how does it go from high-powered Hawks team, like run and gun, and they're going to put up a bunch of points and they're unstoppable? How does the swing happen outside of the two teams that are playing?
Well, I think it's actually dangerous to do this, but I think the reasoning is people are falling on history. And they're saying, well, remember when Brady and Belichick were huge underdogs?
I think that is completely idiotic to fall back on that.
It's 4.5.
Doug Flutie brought it up. He was like, the Rams were there with the greatest show on turf with Kurt Warner and all of his weapons. This is totally different.
It's a completely different team.
Why would you draw that comparison? I find that to be insane.
Well, I think because there are some similarities.
Yes.
Right, in terms of Maye being a young, unproven quarterback, Brady at that time, young, unproven. Now, that spread was crazy. I want to say it was 13.5 or 14.5.
Really? That bad?
It was a massive spread in favor of the Rams. Everyone thought they were going to blow the doors off New England because no one trusted the young quarterback, the coach that hadn't won as a head coach before. So I think I look at it like Vrabel's got, some Belichick features to him. Maye has some Brady features to him. They got a really good defense that's cooking right now. And I think the Patriots and Vrabel are going to feed off the underdog narrative. Now, how much does that work? I'd ask you guys as pro athletes. When your coach is yelling at you, no one believes in us, where do you draw the line between, okay, I'm going to use that as inspiration, and where does it cross over to the other line where it's like, yeah, no kidding. Neither do we. We're not winning this game. Like, we know we're not.
I think the underdog role only takes you so far. I've told you so many times about playing against the Detroit Red Wings in the finals where we won the first game of the series, and it was like, maybe we're not the underdogs. Maybe we can do this. And then all of a sudden, the next 2 or 3 games, they completely crush your soul, and you're like, we weren't even underdogs. We didn't have a chance.
Thing is, though, this is one game.
You're right. That is where it's completely different.
Somebody has a bad quarter. There's a fumble out of nowhere, a bad call. We've seen the refs, get involved or not get involved. This is why I think people are starting to waver. They've seen things that they don't like. People have been complaining about the reffing all season long.
Yep.
What if the refs factor in? What if a fumble out of nowhere, a bad, an errant throw, and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose? Like I just
that's the reality
of it, Noodles. You got 7 games, or 4 games.
Yep.
Here it's 1, and you
that's
have no
the nature
idea.
Of the game.
Somebody has a bad day.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, and that's the amazing thing of having to take advantage of this for both teams. But I think it's imperative that like Darnold kind of closes the loop on the redemption story.
Right.
In other words, if he doesn't play well and they lose, everyone's going to start back up. I knew it. I knew this guy didn't have it.
Minnesota was smart for dumping you.
Exactly. He's seeing ghosts again. So, I've been asked this question a lot this week. I'm sure you guys have been asked as well. Like, who needs this more? Obviously, both teams want it for their legacy. Yeah. You can make a strong case for New England as well. Like, if they get it, then they're on you're never going to catch the Patriots dynasty.
Right.
But that market, you got to win a championship before you're even taken serious in Boston. Yeah. Right? With the way the Pats work, the Red Sox, the Celtics, the Bruins, they win all the time. Yeah. So if you don't win a championship, you're not even acknowledged. So the bar is set so high where you have to do that to get into the conversation in New England. But I think with Darnold in particular in Seattle, if they don't win, and especially if they don't win because he doesn't play well,
dude, it's
the whole redemption story blows up.
The whole legacy things for both of these quarterbacks, and I know Drake Maye is only in his 2nd year in the National Football League, but not everybody has Tom Brady's career where you play in all these Super Bowls, or Patrick Mahomes. So one guy is like, destiny is going to change, and the other guy might be chasing the rest of his career.
Exactly.
And maybe not even come close, Brian.
That's the truth. They may never even
come. It could be a one-off.
Exactly.
It could be a one-off for either one of these guys.
There's dozens and dozens of those. The Bradys are the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Mahomes, those guys are different.
Yeah.
The reality is, like, Aaron Rodgers got 1 Super Bowl, and he played in 1. He got to 1, and he won 1. And that was 15 years ago.
It's crazy, though.
So that's an all-time great. Drew Brees won it once, right? Like, he won it 1 time. Those are 2 of the all-time greats.
You might get some guy like Eli where he goes and wins 2.
Yeah.
But you think
But
about it, though.
that's
you got
very
me
rare,
thinking
man.
that the minute, if Darnold doesn't play well, people will be like, I've been right about this guy
I know.
all along.
Oh, launching into
Preconceived
takes.
notion, like people already have that. He's got to change that.
Yes.
That's the weird part.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's aware of that. Like we talked about McDavid writing that article in the Players Tribune and accepting and acknowledging he thinks of his legacy and everything counts in terms of legacy building.
Right.
That's the world we live in.
Yep.
You know, like look at all of this media here. Every single show here has talked about GOATs and legacies and who's this and who's that and done rankings and lists. Every single show for every single sport, teams, players, coaches, owners, GMs, everything. So that's ultimately what's on the line. And you've done the heaviest lifting is to get here. You got to win all those games in the regular season. You got to find a way to win the playoff games. And then you get to the Super Bowl, and you got 4 quarters to figure it out. You better be ready to play.
On paper, who's the better coach?
I would say Vrabel, but like McDonald's so young. Like he's done a phenomenal job.
Right.
Like he's only been there a couple of years, taken over for a legend in himself.
Grizzled.
And I think that factors in significantly. I think the fact that he's been a winner as a player, he's been through this before as a player. I think he's going to be able to ease the stress of Drake Maye.
Right.
And that team and kind of feed off the energy of the Super Bowl in the more positive way.
Yeah.
Where with McDonald and Darnold, like they're just not, they don't know.
But it might, they might be.
They don't know.
So green, not so green. That's the wrong word. But it might not overwhelm them.
Yes.
It's just, hey, go play and.
I don't think Vrabel will be overwhelmed.
Right. He's going to.
Now it doesn't mean they're definitely going to win.
Right.
But I don't believe he'll be overwhelmed by the moment. All right, hour 2 coming up. We're live in San Francisco, Radio Row. We're at the Convention Center downtown, moving towards the Super Bowl here. James Duthie coming up, Jeff Garcia coming up. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way, live from San Francisco, California. And look who we have with us. James Duthie in the house.
300 NFL players walking around here, and you got this stiff on your show.
We got James Duthie in the house.
Quarterbacks. We had to have quarterbacks.
That's
on
it.
today.
Flag football famous, right?
Yeah. I'm here representing McAlpine Ford and Lincoln. I know everybody's got to represent a product.
Yes. That is that.
And Pop-Tarts.
We did do that. Usually we do it at the end, though.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
We usually do the interview, and then we give you the gratuitous 30 seconds to plug what you need
How
to
much do
plug.
you think those guys get? Like, because that's the only reason they're here.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever.
Couple 100,000.
You think?
It's not a couple 100,000.
You are.
If Christian McCaffrey's here for Frito-Lay.
Dude, I already know how much Christian McCaffrey's getting. I was talking to somebody in the lobby today about that guy.
Right.
And he is raking in cash for appearances.
Yeah.
I want to reassure you guys, I am pro bono on the show today.
Well, we appreciate you doing it for free.
Charging all the other guys that want me on out here, which
As
are
you
not.
should. Are you getting any cat calls from people?
Oh, yeah. People are.
Hey, there's James Duthie.
McAfee.
Get
Guys,
over it.
I'm only doing OverDrive today. Stop.
I love it.
Jimmy, are you friends with any heavy hitters in this room right now? Like,
No.
You don't pass like Stephen A. Smith and it's like, hey, man.
Nobody knows me down
See,
here.
I asked them off air. We've got a media pass to walk around.
Right.
What if you kind of have I don't like what that guy said. What if you went and said, hey, I don't like you or I didn't like, do you think that you'd get walked out?
I saw another player yelling at Cam Newton. Newton was doing a show and this guy walked by and he was like, Cam, we got to talk. Cam's like, let's talk outside. So I don't know what was going on there.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
No.
these guys, like watching some of them walk around, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Or a farming.
How massive they are.
Massive,
too.
man.
Monsters.
Some of them are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the most startling moments of my life. My first NFL game was the '98 NFC Championship game here in San Fran. Steve Young and the Niners against Brett Favre and the Packers. And I'd been to CFL games in Ottawa, but I'd never been to an NFL game. We had a sideline pass. And the sheer size of those guys freak me out. And I said to myself, quarterbacks in the NFL are the best athletes in the world. Because neither Young or Favre was, 6'4" or anything like that.
But just to have those guys chasing them around?
Chasing them and to be able to see over them and their own linemen, to make passes was like, I know I'm touting the, like a guy like Brock Purdy or Doug Flutie you just had on.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that they play in the NFL at a decent level.
Well, and the courage you have to stay in the pocket and throw, knowing there is a lunatic coming around the corner
to kill you,
who has every intention of knocking you out of the game.
A lot of those meetings and stuff you see behind the scenes stuff, the play is called like kill the quarterback.
Yeah.
Kill the quarterback.
Like it's a different era now with the rules, but you go back and watch
LT,
the Lawrence Taylor YouTube 7-minute highlight clip. He is killing guys.
Ronnie Lott, too.
Ronnie Lott.
Guy. Insane.
Like if he was blitzing, I'm coming to kill you.
And didn't get penalties on things where they just knock guys out.
Lawrence Taylor had 100 of Wendell Clark on Bruce Bell.
Yes, from behind. From behind Noodles. Because he was coming off the right side. Like you'd have, Jaworski would tell stories about Jaws he was a right-handed thrower.
Right.
And he'd be in the pocket just dancing. And this lunatic would be frothing coming off the corner, and he would kill him from behind.
If you get a chance to go over to the Experience, I haven't gone through, a couple years ago, I had some time, so I went through the NFL Experience, and they had a virtual reality thing, which I haven't done much of. I'm a big video game guy, but this was one where you put the headset on, but you actually had the football in your hand, and you threw the football against a wall, but on your headset, you were the quarterback in an NFL game with all the players there. So you programmed the play and you knew what it was. And I embarrassed the heck out of myself, Mr. Joe Touch football quarterback. So I'm standing there, like a crowd of people watching. The linebacker, somebody blitzed and came at me, and I fell backwards onto my ass.
Yeah.
Because it was so shocking.
It's so
it took me
real,
5 plays to even be able to get the ball out because
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, even when you stand on a football field, to get a first down is from here to that curtain. Yeah. That's it. 10 yards is not that far.
No.
Right.
Yet there's 11 lunatics in your way saying you're not getting there. It's incredible.
And the trash talk, too.
Yes.
What they used to say.
Yes.
Now I believe it's a little bit different with mics and all of that. But
that's another thing. Guys like Dick Budkiss back in the day would be like, I'm literally going to kill you and start swearing.
Well, the things they could get away with, you can't get away with anything now because there's basically a camera on every player on the field for an NFL game. Like the eye gouging and things, back in the day when there was 4 cameras and it was SD, you could get away with anything.
Stomping hands.
And the ref would be like, didn't see it.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, you did. You saw it.
Crazy.
So you've covered a lot of Super Bowls. How would you, this one?
It's lacking.
It doesn't have the same hype. Why do you think we'll get there by Sunday?
I mean, first of all, why the lack of hype? Is it because?
Well, because I think that, we've gone through 2 decades plus now of whether it's Brady or Mahomes or Manning, and whether you're, a fan of that greatness, like historical greatness, or you hate that team, you're sick of them, like a lot of people were with the Patriots. I think that definitely adds to it, right? Is someone going to knock off Brady? Is somebody going to knock off Mahomes? Whatever that may be. Or is Brady going to win his 6th or his 7th?
Right.
When you have 2 underdog teams like that, it's a remarkable story. The odds of both of them at the beginning of the season being here. I think it's the most unlikely Super Bowl ever as far as that goes. But when you get sort of 2 teams like that, I think it lacks a little jam. Neither one is a team you'd necessarily hate that much, right? Seattle has a pretty good fan base, and I guess New England, you could hate them because it's New England again, but it's all different guys.
Yeah.
Vrabel's likable, Drake May's likable, so I just think that's part of the reason there isn't, the super hype that we usually
It's kind
get.
of a watch what you wish for, be an anti-dynasty.
Yeah.
Watch what you wish for.
Well, there's always a villain. There's always something.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm cheering for Seattle a little bit. I don't know if Luke is. Would Luke still have that soft
Oh, yeah,
spot?
I think he
so.
would, for sure.
Yeah.
I would hope so. I mean,
Yeah, he
we were
does.
talking about that today, that, reportedly maybe Brady's not openly rooting for the Pats because now he's an objective analyst,
Right.
and he's part owner in Vegas. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I think Luke still wears the Seattle colors.
Yeah,
hard.
as he should.
And yeah, 100%. greatest moment of his life and the worst moment of his life both came in that uniform, right?
That game was on the NFL Network last night. I was watching
Still
it.
insane.
It's still insane. Like, they were up 24-14 in the fourth quarter.
I felt bad.
And the Seahawks lost that game.
We have a group chat, and I put that in there the other day, and I sent Luke a note saying, like, it didn't mean to hit a nerve, but it was an interview of Belichick and how they practiced that play.
Oh, yeah. And Malcolm Butler got beat on it in practice, and that's why
they got a beat on it. And I put it in the group chat going, this is amazing, just listening to them break
Luke
down
responded, don't even bring it up.
Yeah, Luke just put, like, the eyes on it, and then I text him privately going, like, hey, I didn't mean to, like, hit a nerve. It was
He's still angry at you.
fascinating.
I
Well, he should be.
How could you not be? Because, like, Al's brother has digged at that in our group chat. Like, oh, we're the Patriots. And it's
I watched that game the other day, too.
Can't do that.
The other thing was forgotten about that game is I think he was a former Winnipeg Blue Bomber. Was it Chris Matthews? Matthews, I think was his last name. Was like, he had one catch in his career, and he was maybe going to be the MVP of that game if Seattle won.
Right.
He had something like 6 catches for 180 yards. I'd completely forgotten about it, and that story's forgotten because of the pick, and the Patriots won again.
They didn't just hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that reference. James Duthie with us here. We're live on Radio Row, FanDuel Studio, ahead of the Super Bowl, of course, on TSN, CTV, Crave. We were talking about this off the top. Like, could other leagues ever replicate something like this? Like a central, like, could you ever picture a scenario where you get a neutral site cup final, where it's like 10 days, you're in Vegas, regardless of the two teams that are going to make it, you're playing every other night. Do you think it could ever get big enough where you get media down there, you get fans down there, and you get a buzz like this?
I don't think so. Like, 2 weeks is too long for that. And, the home ice thing, it's an interesting fantasy to look at. Like,
what about this scenario? There's a neutral site for the 4 games, or it's neutral site to start, and then you break off and do what? I don't know.
Or do it the opposite, like you say, play 2 in each city,
And then
and
last
then have
3.
the possibility of.
But then if
5,
there's a
6,
sweep, what are you planning for?
I just don't think it works for hockey.
Logistically, I don't think it works.
It's perfect for the NFL.
Too many games. That's the problem.
And the NFL is such a behemoth.
I think just hockey there's so many crazy hockey fans, and there's so many shows like this for hockey. I think this could somehow work for hockey.
Yeah.
I just don't know when.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's the NFL is just so much larger than everything else.
Yeah.
It seems like.
That's the problem.
And this Super Bowl was just made for this. Yeah, I don't know. I'll take a best of 7 in hockey as much as I love covering this event.
That's right. I agree, because I think in the best of 7, the better team wins. I always, like I brought up earlier in the last hour, if the better team on paper has a bad day, they lose.
It's happened so many times. And, we were talking about predictions today in the panel, and I'm thinking Seattle. I think I said 23-10 Seattle. But I've been to this so many times. Like, my very first Super Bowl was the 2001 season, 2002 Super Bowl, Brady's first one over the Rams. And I think the Rams were 13.5-point favorites. And I remember thinking all week with Schulte, there's no way New England can win this game. And, stuff happens. Quite often it's when NFL games can get short, right? You can get, even if, like, Seattle scores on a 10-minute drive to open, and then New England gets a long drive, suddenly you're late in the second quarter, and it's 7-7 or 10-7, and weird stuff can happen. And so I think that's something that makes the Super Bowl great. Right. But you're right, it doesn't have the definitive champion that a best of 7 would.
Right.
We're talking about how crazy it is, how some people are drawing parallels to, like, that Super Bowl you just mentioned, how they're like, this is New England team could do the same thing against. How crazy is that thinking? Like, drawing that comparison with this New England team saying, oh, Brady did it back then against, the greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
Maybe Drake Maye and this team. Like, that's just crazy thinking to just connect those two.
Yeah, that's the need for a week full of storylines to fill, right? But I mean, there's a little bit to it as far as the underdog nature of them. But I mean, that was, like I said, the Rams. You remember the Rams back then? The Rams were amazing on both sides of the ball. And that's even Seattle's, Sam Darnold's season, that wasn't Kurt Warner and Isaac Bruce and all those guys, Torrey Holt back then. So, but it would still be an amazing story. The funny thing is, because of the way New England Like I'll admit, like I got sick of New England too, because every Super Bowl I was going to, I think I've done 12, and like 9 of them were Tom Brady, Belichick Super Bowls. And so at some point you want a fresh storyline. And I think a lot of the neutral people are like, not the Patriots again. And it's kind of sad, like Vrabel and these guys are an amazing story, but they won't get the love of a typical Cinderella because it's the Patriots.
Yes,
and people are sick of the Patriots winning.
Yes.
Fatigue. People had the fatigue.
Or it's just that they've won for so long, they have the image of a winning organization.
You can't sell them as well as a Cinderella.
Right, exactly.
What do you make of Bobby Kraft?
Well, he didn't make the Hall of Fame his first time in.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Is this punishment for Deflategate and all that, or
That's what it seems like. Like those are the theories that collectively at least 11 guys in the room have decided you're going to pay a price for Spygate, Deflategate, and all the different gates that have.
Do you guys feel weird today? Because I was walking down from the hotel just as I left. I was watching ESPN, and the Panarin trade broke, and then Chris Paul's going to the Raptors, even though he's never
going to the Raptors.
It was funny too because the NBA trade deadline's on. And they spent 5 minutes going, all right, what does Chris Paul mean to the Raptors? How's he going to work with Scotty Barnes? Right? They did like an 8-minute panel. And then Sham comes on 2 minutes later and goes, guys, Chris Paul's never going to play for the Raptors. He's either getting waived or he's getting moved somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh. And it kind of this happens to us occasionally, not like that on trade deadline.
We're here. We talked the first 28 minutes about Leafs, Panarin, Chris Paul.
Right.
I mean, that's.
But I think everywhere,
topical,
even down here, it's a weird day because the NBA is all the news down here, hockey's all the news in Canada, and there's more to the answer of one of your earlier questions about a little less hype on this game.
Well, we saw you. We obviously flew down together, and you're packed not only for this trip, but you're going to the Olympics as well, right after.
Yeah.
And, a number of teams have made it through. There's still games tonight and tomorrow. But Cirelli's out and Bennett in for Canada. If we assume that that's it, like, all right, no more injuries, we're all set. How are you prepping for the Olympics? And
first
where
of
do you
all,
stand
I
on
think that's
Canada?
the best. When the team was announced and we did the show in Minnesota was it January 1st or New Year's Eve? And that was the Bennett thing was the #1 topic of him being let. And if you'd have made an argument then to say to people, what's the change you would have made? I bet you a lot of people would have said, well, I'd take Cirelli off and put Bennett on. And we were also thinking at the time, there's likely to be 3, 4, maybe 5 injuries with all the condensed schedule. And for them to only come off with 1 significant injury and to be able to replace, and that to be Cirelli, who's as good as he is, and I know John Cooper loves him and he plays a great role, but he's probably like almost the last guy who made the team, probably because Cooper defended him. And to have Bennett on, I think that's about an absolute best case scenario for Canada for what they thought on New Year's Eve when they named the team. That would be the only change.
Does he play? Because there's 14 forwards, not everyone's going to dress.
I think he does. I think you find a role for him. But, keep in mind, still 2 nights of the NHL left.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Because I think there's probably teams and coaches, and certainly the coaches of the respective countries going, let's get these guys over there. Because he was saying, McDavid gets hit last night. He's playing tonight in Calgary. You think Calgary wants to take it easy on him?
No.
I'd be terrified. I know this is the way the great players don't think that way, though, but I have McDavid, McKinnon. You've waited all your life from this moment, and now you're down to 1 game or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I would be terrified.
Yes. Well, that's what I kind of got that sense last night. They're pros and they're playing.
And they play hard.
But they've got to
really
be thinking,
playing?
I just want to get out of here. Like, give me a truce.
Little
so I
all-star game type nature.
Yes, like
nice
there's a bit of a vibe on that.
But the other players aren't going to be that way.
Flag bearer for Germany. Like, just get me out of here. Hopefully we win.
But
ideally
the problem is 90% of the players on the ice aren't going to the Olympics, so they're still playing that way.
I don't know about that. They got trips.
I was just going to
right
say,
there.
You
They're
think
thinking
the guy
the same
wants
thing.
to block a shot tonight when he's got a PJ or a flight tomorrow morning?
Right to Cabo.
To Cabo.
Yes, especially a young single
I can't
guy.
pull my groin before I go to Cabo.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't need to lose.
These guys
teeth.
honestly talk to each other. Somebody might send someone else a message saying,
"Smarten up,
no hitter tonight.
Smarten
Just
up.
get the hell out of here."
I'm telling you,
Let's take it easy.
I've told this story before. Chris Pronger, who was a dear friend, hated my guts for about a week because I let out a bad rebound.
I remember.
And he took the slap shot off his foot, and we were flying to LA the next day. He had to walk around in a boot. We're at the bar. He's got a boot on. He was so mad at me.
That's a terrible vibe.
Well, it's
You can't
terrible.
have that.
I'm like, you can't walk into a bar with a boot on.
Yeah.
Just stay at the hotel. He was so mad at me, and it was because we were going out to LA for a swing. So you have to think some of these guys playing tonight and tomorrow have a little bit of Cabo or Mexico or Florida.
You can't bubble wrap
Turks.
anyone. There's
no,
nothing you can do about it. But
you know something's happening.
Unfortunately, something's going to happen.
I want to say to the people at home too, like, I don't know if you've been able to do like a shot. Like, when I came in looking for you guys, it took me about a half an hour. I kind of expected it would be like the little tiny set. Golf about 1,000 radio stations here and podcasts and so on, and most of them have about 4 square feet of room. So that's where I was looking. I was walking up and down the middle, looking for some little. And
we
look
don't
at
do
you guys.
that
You got
stuff
the, you got
anymore.
like the Pat McAfee set here.
Yeah.
This guy ran into a colleague, a former colleague.
He goes, where are you set up? And the guy goes, behind that piece of cardboard over there.
I couldn't believe you have like the second biggest set in here. It's
The last one.
Literally.
OverDrive.
But again, in Canada, like there's some Canadians that have walked by and said, love you guys, big fans. There's a lot of Americans here that are watching us saying, who the hell are those guys?
There are European media walking by, and they've got
they're
the cameras.
taking pictures, and
They're like,
they're
who
literally
are those?
stopping their recording.
Do they do
I don't know
they
who
do
that
this
is.
kind of thing?
They're looking.
Yeah, but it's all good. We know you, and we
Yeah.
appreciate you coming by.
I'd just like to say on behalf of McAlpine Lincoln, I'm just
Yes, you can get your plugs in now.
Yeah.
Get your plugs in. All right, buddy. Well, enjoy yourself this week.
Thank
we'll
you
be
guys.
seeing you around the hotel. Make sure you say hi.
Hope you get better guests than me the next couple of
Oh,
days.
yeah, Jeff
but,
Garcia's coming up. We got a lot of great things planned the next couple of days. We
Thank
got
you for
Luke
having
coming
me.
on tomorrow too, right?
It's
We
great,
got to have the
great
host.
that you guys are down here because I can tell you're the best show of any of the shows out here, all these American shows.
Yes.
So it's good. That,
We
it's
call
good
those
there's the
the
biggest shows
cardboard
at the
people.
Will you be on,
Those are cardboard
listen,
people.
and will you be on my side if I wear a certain shirt tomorrow?
Oh, the
Yeah.
sweater thingy?
Yeah, he's going to go
I'm
say
thinking
Noodles.
of wearing it. I
I'm with
bought
you.
it.
I want to see it in person too. If you could bring it down to like the hotel lobby tonight
All right.
too. I want to see it
I'll
in
send
person.
you a picture of it.
Okay, we're bringing it out tomorrow.
Bringing it tomorrow.
We are going to do massive ratings tomorrow. TSN4, find us streaming on YouTube. All right, he is James Duthie. Down here all through the weekend, hosting everything on SportsCenter, TSN, CTV. Enjoy your time. Have a great trip over to Italy as well,
Thanks,
buddy.
buddy.
We won't see
Appreciate
you
it.
prior to that.
Appreciate it.
And thanks for doing this. There he is, James Duthie, joining us here at the FanDuel set. We're live on Radio Road, San Francisco, ahead of the Super Bowl. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
That's gonna do it!
Sunday on TSN 1050. Super Bowl 60. Between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots.
Can Sam Darnold shed his ghosts of the past?
Or will Drake Maye lead the Patriots back to glory?
Super Bowl 60!
Hear it all on TSN 1050. The NFL lives here. Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, OverDrive continues live from Radio Row here in San Francisco. Beautiful weather out here today.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man. It's about 15 and sunny. Feels like 40 and sunny, considering where we're coming from.
We were excited walking over here, but we were also discussing the idea of possibly teeing it, how good it was. Like this morning,
perfect golf weather.
This morning was so nice.
Now, there is a place in California that's probably nicer weather, and that's where our next guest has come from. Jeff Garcia joining us around the table. You live down in San Diego. It's a little bit nicer than up here, but not much, I would imagine.
I traded in the Calgary winters
Yes.
Yes.
for some California winters. It's been a good place to be, but that being said, what you're experiencing this week right now in the Bay Area, definitely a blessing.
It's pretty good. And I'm glad you brought up Calgary because we had Doug Flutie on earlier. And we said this is probably the only show where we're going to reference your CFL career. You're a Grey Cup winner. You're up in Calgary for a number of years. And, you know, when you consider what happened with your career and what you're doing now with your life, like how did that kind of set you up for success going to the CFL?
Absolutely. None of the NFL career was happening without Canadian football for me. I wasn't drafted, obviously. I wasn't sought out by the NFL teams coming out of college, which I felt like I was good enough, but for whatever reason, I wasn't getting that opportunity. So my only opportunity was to go to Canada, play in the Canadian Football League. I was aware of Canada. I had seen the game on ESPN, but truly to go out there onto that field, the measurements of the field, it's bigger, it's wider, it's longer, it's all those things. But to be able to learn from a guy like Doug Flutie, following his footsteps, see how he played the game, how he approached the game, really led to me being able to take what I knew as a quarterback and as a player and put it to work on that Canadian Football League field. And without that experience, without those 5 years winning the Grey Cup, and believe me, I thought I was at a point in my career after 5 years there. I had bought a house in Calgary. I had opened a Mexican food restaurant in Calgary.
Yes.
Yeah.
This guy probably was at the restaurant. I guarantee you, these two are brand
I've
had drinks at his restaurant.
I
I
was
guarantee you.
putting some roots down, thinking, hey, this is going to be my career, and all of a sudden things changed. But that being said, I'm so thankful and grateful for my experience up there.
Well, it was an incredible one, and obviously then you end up down here in San Francisco, and it's such great history. What was that experience like for you, like being a Niner and being a quarterback when you talked about, following in the footsteps of Doug Flutie? You're following Steve Young and Joe Montana.
Yes.
What was that like, your San Francisco years?
And so I grew up an hour south of San Francisco. So I grew up with the 49ers as my team, as my hometown team, as the team I grew up watching, and really looking at Joe Montana as my idol. I wanted to be like Joe Montana. I wanted to play the game like he did. So cool, calm, and collected, leading the team to 4 Super Bowl titles. That was like the icing on the cake. For me to now have a chance to join in my childhood favorite team was really a dream come true. And to follow in that lineage, not easy to do, right? Future Hall of Famer in Steve Young, already a Hall of Famer in Joe Montana, Super Bowl titles, all of those things, and now I'm the guy. And early on, I could feel that pressure. I could feel the pressure in the sense that when we were struggling as a team,
people were going to say, you're not that guy.
Their only difference on the team was the quarterback, right? And I knew that there were more issues with the team, but from a fan standpoint, the quarterback was the change. And so I had to deal with that. Well, I think my 5 years in Canada, I was more mature at the time. I had gone through some things, maybe not quite at that level, but some experiences that prepared me for something like that. Learning how to tune out the noise, so to speak, not drink the poison, right? Hey, those people aren't in the locker room. It's all about what your teammates think, what your coaches believe in, and what you believe in. And once I was able to settle into that role and understand I can't be Steve Young, I can't be Joe Montana, gotta be myself, execute the game the way you know how to execute it. You're here for a reason, because somebody believes in you. And that guy was Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh believed in me. That's why I was with the Niners.
Yep.
So let's prove him right and prove everybody else wrong.
That's got to be pretty incredible. Sorry, Noodles.
No, that's all right.
Like Bill Walsh, it doesn't get any. I mean, you talk about Montana being your idol. Walsh must have been kind of your idol as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. He was the architect of what the 49ers were able to do. To create that 2 decades of winning was because of what he put together. Hey, the coaching staff that he put together, the players that he put on the field, the free agents, the great drafts, all those things. But yes, for that guy to be in my corner and believe in me really, really meant a lot to me. And I just wanted to be able to prove that he was right in what he believed in.
So what were the pros and cons of coming home and playing in front of family and friends and all the floaters coming out of the woodwork and all of that? Was it, all positive, or did you have to manage some of the things along the way?
I mean, there were a lot of great things that came out of obviously having the local support from my family, from my friends. When the going was tough in those first couple seasons, at least I kind of had a place to go and hide where they're gonna love me no matter what, right? That being said, trying to situate tickets before a game, that was not fun. That was not fun, man. I'm trying to focus on a football game, yet I'm trying to get all the will call tickets aligned properly. That being said, it was a great experience. We did a lot of great things. My family was able to watch so many great things firsthand, right here in Candlestick, which is no longer here, but right here in the Bay Area. And so there were definitely more blessings than curses or negativities.
You talked about blocking out the noise and drinking the poison. for these two quarterbacks on Sunday, like they're going to throw out the cliches where it's like, I just got to do my thing. I got to play my game. It's just another game. Like, how difficult will it be with the lack of experience for one of these guys to step up and have the game of their life when there's obviously going to be a lot of pressure and they've never done it?
Well, I think both of these quarterbacks, as young as Drake Maye is, and Darnold went through it being a highly drafted, sought-after quarterback coming out of college, much like Drake, but not going to a team that had the track record that New England has. You go to the New York Jets, it's a completely different situation.
It's a mess.
And you don't know what you're going to see or get. Going to New England, even though they came off of a couple lean years, they got a leader who was part of the 2 decades of greatness. They have a mentality that they need to get back on top in a hurry, much like what I experienced here with the 49ers. But they also have solid football teams in the 3 aspects of the game. They're not down on the defensive side. They're not down in special teams. They're good in all aspects of the game. So really, they just have to manage the game. Nobody's expecting them to be lights out or do something phenomenal. Maye is probably a little bit more of the athlete than Darnold is. He's going to play a little bit more out of the pocket than Darnold will. But that being said, they have weapons around them. They have a running game. They have a great defense. They have people that are helping them. As long as they can stay in that mindset and not feel like they have to win it on their own, because that's where it's going to fail. If they have to feel like they have to win it on their own, I'm not just talking about a last-minute drive. I'm talking about, hey, from start to finish, I got to play perfect. If I don't play perfect, they're putting themselves in a mindset that's going to be a failure instead of a winner. And, you know, just do the things you've been doing all year. You had a 14-3 record in the regular season. You've been outstanding in the playoffs. Keep playing that team game.
Must be so tempting, though, when you say managing the game, it's basically not do something stupid and cost your team the game. But with the elite athletes and a guy that think they can do anything, quarterbacks are special players, and they always have that mindset where I got to be the difference maker, because they basically are the biggest factor on the team. It's got to be so tempting to go from managing the game to I want to break this thing open and separate.
Yeah, and I think that's where humbling yourself a little bit and understanding what is coming from the top down. They have great coaching staffs. They have great mentors. They have great teammates. And, you know, I think both guys are very humble, down-to-earth guys. They're not those guys that have, yes, they came out highly touted out of big college programs, but they don't carry themselves that way. And I think with that sort of mentality, I think that's why their teammates gravitate toward them. They follow them. They demonstrate it. They don't have to speak it. And I don't think either guy is really a rah-rah type of guy in the locker room, right? So nobody in that sense is looking to be anointed with a special presentation of the crown. They're all in on the team.
The best example, I was telling Brian this morning in the hotel lobby, I went to the Super Bowl in Jacksonville where New England played the Eagles, and it was my first time putting eyes on Tom Brady. And I thought I was going to see these plays that were just out of this world, and it's like I've never seen anything like that. It was 10-yard outs and 10-yard outs and 10-yard outs and then touchdown. I'm like, that was so almost boring and methodical,
right,
but
right.
They went down and scored every time just by doing that and chipping away.
The nickel and dime, the consistency, the taking what the defense gives you. And I think New England has a little bit more explosiveness of attacking down the field with the big play, but it's not something that they rely upon. If it happens, great, but I'm not expecting it and I'm not forcing it to happen. And that's why Drake Maye is in the MVP ballot race, because of his decision-making, how he's led. It's not because he had this phenomenal 10 throws that were 50-plus yards down the field. It was the consistency that he played the game with week in and week out.
Jeff Garcia is with us. We're live on Radio Row ahead of the Super Bowl. You know, there's so much preparation that goes into a game like this. When you're the quarterback, though, and something confuses you, like, how do you adjust on the fly like that? Like, you're taking 2 weeks to think, okay, I'm reading safeties, I'm reading whatever defense it might be. I got an idea of what's going to happen, you know, whichever defense they might apply here. I've seen all the game tape. And yet you get to a game like this, and maybe they've got something coming at you that no one's seen before. Sure, you've been in that situation many times in your career. What can you rely on in those scenarios to get you out of it and make the right play?
Don't compound confusion with a mistake in the sense of whether it's throwing a ball up for grabs or taking a big negative play or exposing the ball, not being secure in the pocket. Hey, if you see a pressure that all of a sudden confuses you, what is my outlet, or can I get a save a negative play by maybe losing 1 or 2 yards?
Right.
You know, and I think both guys, again, it comes down to their character and how they've played all season long, and with Darnold, how he's played the last 2 seasons, minus a playoff game in Minnesota, where he's been a great decision maker. He's been very good with the football, protective-wise, and I don't think there's going to be a whole lot at the end of the day that's going to confuse these guys. The defenses are who they are. Seattle relies on a 4-down lineman pressure. They have great defensive line. They'll do some things in the defensive backfield, which they are capable of doing because they can rely on 4 guys getting to the passer, where they can be more creative. But at the end of the day, they're going to play probably their 2 coverages throughout the game. Same thing with New England. I think they're probably more apt to bring on some pressures that are going to be, you know, for Darnold to recognize, hey, when are they stacking a slot defender with a safety and bringing that nickel guy off the edge, or, hey, linebacker placement. But these guys, they're studying the game from top to bottom, morning to night, and both of them, hey, they're married, they're not out on the scene, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and believe me, I've been around hockey players. I know you guys.
They know the scene.
I know you
Oh,
guys.
yeah, like football players are angels.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But they are very grounded, and I think they're going to take this week as, hey, the preparation is more important than the party. It's all about the process of getting through it and being the best that they can be on Sunday.
An example of being in trouble or confused and adding to it, I think, was C.J. Stroud playing the last game against the Wing. He got in trouble and confused, and he was tossing up lob balls that were just ridiculous, and they got intercepted. And it was like, what were you thinking during those plays?
And I saw that. If there's a guy that I saw playing with less confidence and less grit on the field, especially in the playoffs, was C.J. Stroud. I saw a guy who was like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, he was.
And for it being, I believe, his third or fourth year in the league, and who's done some really spectacular things as a young quarterback, he took a major step backward in how he didn't lead the Houston Texans in the
It's
playoffs.
amazing how much you can build up street cred, and one game can change a lot of it.
Well, it wasn't just, he got lucky in the playoff game before, I believe, versus the Steelers.
Big time.
Because their defense is what saved him, but he looked awful in that game. I hate to use the word awful because he's a professional quarterback. He's one of the top at his position in the sense of 32 teams, but he was not in his prime or at the top of his game come playoff time.
I can tell you what I think he needs. Mueller Sports Medicine's Revive, right?
And Jeff Garcia is a quarterback coach. Hey, let's go.
Quarterback coach.
I got you. But Mueller Sports, hey, they've been around for 60-plus years. They probably, got the tape that you wrap the hockey sticks with, the ankles, all the things. But they have the inflatable leg boots and compression sleeves that are utilized all over the body, deal with, bringing down pain, discomfort, swelling, reactivating the lymphatic system within the body, flushing out the system. As we know, these are in all locker rooms, all training facilities, and all sports med spas around the world now. And why not have them at home to utilize yourself?
He blew his knee out. When was that? A couple of years ago.
That was a few years ago.
He was doing something very stressful. He was sitting on the couch.
Oh, yes, yes. Sudden movement, man.
Sudden movement, man. It caught me. It caught me. Well, you took a lot of hits in your career, but you look good.
Thank you, man.
You're walking
Appreciate
good.
it.
Everything feels good.
Everything's good. Hey,
Attaboy.
you know, minor tweaks here and there. I've had to overcome some of those things, as we all do, playing the game for so long, no matter whether it's hockey, because that's as physical as any other sport out there, or football. But I feel great, man. Thank you very much for having me.
It's great seeing you. Great Cup champion, Jeff Garcia.
Hey, thank you, guys. Appreciate it, man.
Great seeing you. Thanks for coming by.
You got it.
Jeff Garcia joining us here. Live at the FanDuel booth. Radio Row San Francisco Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, live from the FanDuel set, Radio Row, San Francisco. Best bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Oilers, McDavid records a point, Draisaitl records a point tonight.
That's what you think?
Yes, they are not going 2 straight nights without putting up numbers.
But
not going 2 straight without winning.
I think they might have, they want to know.
They want to get out of there, but they'll get on a power play tonight, tap home something. Power play points, that's your best bets for tonight. Powered by FanDuel. Same game parlays around the NHL available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly, 18 plus, physically located in Ontario. Thanks again to Jeff Garcia. I love how he points.
He's got a lot of energy, great guy.
Awesome guy. Points to you guys, the NHL players, as if you're the hooligans. Like there aren't NFL players up to madness every single place they go.
I wanted to say, you want to compare some notes here, pal?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that would probably, although baseball players, they get the reputation of being able to play after a big night.
Yeah.
More
David
so
Wells.
than any other sport.
David Wells pitched a perfect game. Apparently is the most hungover he's ever been in his life.
Yeah.
And I think it was an afternoon game.
It was. It was like a 12:37 first pitch.
I've seen it twice, firsthand. Once in New York City with Roger Clemens. We had a friend of a friend, and he was pitching against Bonds the next day, and we were at a release party of a bar, and he said to me, he goes, "I'm going to hit his elbow. You watch." And I was so hungover getting to the game. As I walked in, the crowd was going crazy. He had hit the first pitch, Bonds' elbow.
Isn't that amazing that you just crawled in that place?
I was like...
And he had been there for like 3 hours prepping for the game.
He was pitching, and I barely made it to my seat. And that was a 1 o'clock game the next day. And then Mark McGuire, we had many nights in St. Louis with Big Mac.
One thing I've never understood or comprehended was, playing guilty in hockey is a thing once in a while, but to attempt it for an afternoon game, I found to be ridiculous.
How about outdoors in the heat in the afternoon? Imagine playing an afternoon game in July.
And it's 38 degrees.
Yeah, if you're banged up, you're just fuzzy and you're not, to go out there and throw a baseball, I don't know.
So maybe baseball players are at the top of the list.
See, but they're in that city for 4 days. So they plan it out. It's like, okay, I can let one get away from me. That's what it is. They're not doing it 4 nights in a row, but guaranteed one.
Here's where a sneaky possibility would be golfers who have made money and, didn't have a great Saturday, know they're not winning on Sunday. I think there's a chance they have a big night on the Saturday.
But have you ever tried chipping hungover?
It's so tough.
Dude, you will stick it in the ground.
You don't think Harry Higgs could do it?
But that's what I'm saying. If you're a grizzled vet,
if you're last place.
Yeah, what do you care? And they're so naturally talented. They're not going to just start chopping the ball around.
No.
They'll find the earth, throw it on the green, 2-putt and leave. They shoot 74 and they're out of there.
The legend, John Daly could do it.
100%. He's done it.
Dude, I think a guy did it in Hawaii. Look up the story. Robert Allenby went out in Hawaii and got the shit kicked out of him, and he couldn't see out of his eyes, and he couldn't golf. Do you remember? You remember hearing
That's an accurate statement. He got arrested in Honolulu or something because
dude, he was up.
And someone had absolutely
somebody tuned him up at the bar.
Tuned him up at the bar and then left him on the street. And I think someone picked him up and was like, This is Robert Allenby.
I swear he was a mess.
Dude, they were like, this guy's got a 1048 tomorrow at the Honda. Like, it was really
Robbie Allenby.
crazy story.
That is crazy.
Those are stories that happen everywhere. But anyway, Jeff Garcia, awesome guy.
He was great.
And it's really cool that we had Flutie and Garcia because of their CFL connections.
Yeah.
Which, you know, obviously down here it's not necessarily a huge story, but it is for us. We love the CFL.
Awesome.
And, you know, both of them Grey Cup winners. And, you know, we're getting closer to go time. Like by tomorrow, it's that much closer to where we're going to be in terms of the NHL season coming to an end. The trade deadline in the NBA tomorrow.
Yeah.
Getting closer to the Super Bowl. The Olympic Games are starting later this week. You know, like the Canada's got a tune-up game on Monday.
You said there's NHL games tonight
and tomorrow.
And tomorrow.
Tampa plays Florida tomorrow.
Yes. And
Like-
you know that's a bloodbath.
Of course it is.
There's going to be text sent saying no thanks.
Well, I
don't-
think,
Brandon Hagel and Sam Bennett.
but now Bennett's on the team.
Doesn't
Like the
matter. These
conspiracy
guys-
theory,
So I saw it the other
They
day.
hate I don't think it matters.
I hear you.
That
but-
outdoor game, which was outrageous. We didn't talk. Vasilevsky's fight, unbelievable
good.
game. Hagel and Gensel are sitting on the panel afterwards, and they're like, "You guys a week from now are going to be," and they go, "Yeah, we'll deal with that in a week. But right now we're teammates. We love each other."
Yeah.
Like you got to step on that plane and go.
But it happened at the Four Nations.
Yeah.
Right? Like it happens all the time. They get this, you know, you look at Bennett and Hagel, they were the first two to drop the gloves at the Four Nations in that American game.
Yeah.
Where the two of them hate each other.
Yeah.
And then both of them knew it was coming. They're like, the Kachuk brothers are going to try to be heroes here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's taking it on? And Hagel's like, I'll take Kachuk. And Bennett was like, I'm jumping over the boards. I got Brady.
Yeah.
After Hagel inspired them.
Yeah.
Because they went toe-to-toe in the fashion they did.
It's true.
And, you know, Bennett scored that big goal in the final. I'm pretty sure Hagel was on the ice. And I think Hagel came in flying into the scrum in the celebration of the big Bennett goal when Marner hit Bennett and Bennett went top shelf.
And to be honest, too, Florida's in one. We were talking. Tampa.
They're in
can
big
cruise.
trouble.
Florida's
Tampa's in a
one.
great
Florida
spot.
needs that game.
Florida needs that game. Tampa's got to be thinking, you know, not necessarily we can cruise home because they're fighting for home ice.
Yeah.
They must be saying we might be able to pick off another one here.
But that's what I was about to say. At a minimum, if Florida misses, and that's the big one.
Yeah, yeah.
Not if the Leafs miss. The Leafs miss, okay. They've had Tampa's number.
Right. Right.
You know, the Leafs are a good team, a grizzled veteran team with playoff history. But if Florida's out,
Wide open.
and you're looking
out
at the East, you're like, who is possibly going to step up with us?
I think it's Tampa, and the other thing you could throw in there. Tampa's two best players aren't going to the Olympics.
Right. Vasilevsky and
Goalie
Kucherov.
and Kucherov. You know, like they're going to go
3 weeks of sunning and just relaxing.
and the
And
rest.
on the other side of it, guys, you look at the Maple Leafs, like, what a year to take a step back. The way the Eastern Conference is set up,
If Florida misses,
Florida could miss, and you take a step back as well. Like,
Well, listen,
that's a Leafy
the
thing.
story's not written yet. That's the thing.
25 games left.
Which is
to their
still-
credit, again, we said it before they went 8-0-2. They had a chance to go down one way where they put the flag up and said, we're done. They
Yeah.
fought. Now they had a brutal 10-game stretch.
Yeah.
Now you've won 3 straight. You know, if you get some help over the next 2 nights and you're 5 out, it's not ideal, but it gives them an opportunity.
Well, you've got a better percentage chance.
You
'Cause
still
right
got to
now
win 17, 18 games.
I'm reading, though, I don't know if this is right, but from some of the analytics sites, they're talking like 98 points gets you in type
That's
of
the
thing.
crazy thing in this division alone.
Well, but out west, it's going to be
Someone's getting
88,
in with 89
92,
points.
You know, like that.
Yeah.
But out east, you're looking at, and the Leafs right now, I believe, are on pace for 90 points.
Yeah.
They've got to win more games to get on the pace to 96.
They got to get on a
98.
heater. Their best players have got to be their goaltenders.
Yeah.
Wall and Stolarz, both of them getting 3 weeks off now.
Yeah, and
can you go jockey back and forth and go on a heater?
I think
Let's see.
I'm coming back to Willie and Austin. They go over and do something in the Olympics, feel good about themselves, and come back. Those are the guys. It's on your best players that are going to deliver.
You want to take a couple waste management guys, or we don't have time?
Quickly.
No, we don't have time.
2 each.
I'm going to take Scotty Scheffler, Nick Taylor, and Sahith Thagala.
Wow.
Scott, once you take Scotty, it's basically over. I'll take Hideki Matsuyama, who's red hot and loves that place. Brooks Koepka again, even though I don't think it's legitimately going to happen. Who's another big dog? I'll take, is Benny Griffin in there? I'll take my boy Ben Griffin.
I'm going to take that stinky old Charlie Hoffman.
He loves the way
He loves it with those gray slacks.
And I'll take, is Corey Connors in there? I'll take Connors.
Take Connors.
I got to have a Canadian. All right, day one, live from San Francisco. It's been awesome. Unbelievable energy in here. The set is great. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes back home helping out.
Yes.
Everyone here from FanDuel helping out too. We could not be in better hands. Just an incredible setup. Doogie looks amazing. I think he's got to go
Come over here and sit down. No, the chair's not here.
The chair's gone, but we'll get Doogie some FaceTime before we get out of here.
Yeah.
With the ripped bands.
Everyone's here helping out. It's been unbelievable. Thanks to Doug Flutie. Duthie came by, Jeff Garcia. More tomorrow, more Friday. We're just getting rocking. It's been incredible. So we're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
4 p.m.
We'll chat then.